First, let me thank you for doing an amazing job. You took a department that's not necessarily considered one of the strong powerhouses in Washington, brought a fresh approach to entrenched problems, and it worked. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah, HUD was sort of the laughing stock. And there were always all these stories about the scandals and things that were going on there. And you don't hear those anymore. But it was because, you know, the Lord brought the right people there. You know, starting with our CFO. There had not been an active CFO office for 8 years.
In a department that big, no active?
With all those billions of dollars flowing through that. And bringing fiscal responsibility to all the offices across the whole organization made a tremendous difference. You know, they couldn't even do an audit because there were so many deficiencies. All of those have been cleared. Last year was the first clean audit we've had in a long period of time at HUD.
Congratulations.
Those kinds of things make a big difference. The IT systems were operating on a 40-year-old platform. And the only good thing being that they were so old and out of date that no one could hack them. But you know, bringing all that stuff into the modern era, having the ability to do virtual real-time monitoring of where the money was, gives us the ability to give flexibility to the recipients. You don't have to spend all your time trying to figure out where the money's going. You can see it right there. Those things were extraordinarily helpful.
Yeah, the accountability makes a huge difference. Now, you've been on all sides of the great issues that we face in America today, and HUD faced one of the biggest ones, which is the wealth gap. Yes. I mean, America has been a successful, prosperous nation. The big problem we have is there's a big difference between the rich and the poor.
And, you know, it's not that we don't know how to solve it. All we have to do is look at the data. You take, for instance, the study by the Brookings Institute. Now, Brookings is a left-wing institute.
Right.
But after a massive study on poverty, they concluded that there were 3 things that a person could do in our society that would reduce their likelihood of living in poverty to 2% or less. And those 3 things were finish high school, get married, wait until you're married to have children. Those 3 things.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? And yet, you know, here we are sitting with a 17% poverty rate, because most of the things that I just talked about, those 3 things, are politically incorrect to criticize or talk about. So we're politically correcting ourselves out of prosperity. And then education. You know, the one thing about our society, it doesn't matter where you came from. If you avail yourself of a good education, you can write your own ticket because you become valuable. People need you when you're valuable. And interestingly enough, they pay you when they need you.
That's funny how that works.
It's very funny how that works. So, you know, the wealth gap is eminently solvable. What doesn't work is patting people on the head and saying, there, you poor little thing. I'm going to take care of your needs, and I'm going to make sure that you have a place to live, and I'm going to make sure I take care of all your health care needs, and I'm going to take care of all your food needs and anything else that you need, because I'm such a good, wonderful person.
Well, that's the traditional government approach, which you just described. As Dr. Phil might ask, how's that working for you?
Exactly. You know, since the war on poverty started, we've spent more than $20 trillion, and we've made no progress.
Which is 2/3 of the total reported federal debt right there.
Exactly.